So these are the kind of cameras I'm installing. These are for outdoor use, weatherproof. They are rated for cold winters, so if you live in Canada, you want to make sure that whatever cameras you get are rated for cold weather. And it's infrared, so at nighttime, it'll be able to record in the dark and still see what's going on.
On my hole, now I'm gonna put my mud ring in. And it's gonna be a 2-inch hole. And attach my cable. I'm gonna try and guide it all the way to that attic access right here, and so that all your wires are reach right to the tip. A couple clicks. Right in. Keystone jack.
The tools you will need for this job is a cordless drill, bimetal hole saw, probably 2 inches, depends on what kind of cameras you're installing. So I got a 2-inch, make sure you got an arbor bit, 7/8 auger bit for drilling through the top plate, or a 7/8 spade bit will do. Need a flashlight, measuring tape, jab saw, pencil, a small level so you can level your cover plate, a multi-screwdriver. You need some electrical tape, side cutters, this RJ45 crimping tool, a punchdown tool, and I'd recommend that when you're working in the attic or anywhere where it's dark that you have a headlamp, so that way you can see what you're doing. And you'll need fish rods. These are Klein Tools glow rods, and they're 15 feet. Very good for fishing wire. Working in the attic, you want to make sure that you got a dust mask so that you're not inhaling all the fiberglass insulation. Make sure you're wearing pants, safety shoes, long sleeves, and gloves just so that you're not touching the insulation. Make sure when you're in the attic that you're stepping on the framing members, stepping on the joists, and that you're not stepping on the drywall, so you don't want to damage the drywall. I'd recommend that whatever work you have to do in the attic, that you should do it when it's not hot outside and not in the middle of the day. I mean, if it's winter time, then you can go up at any time, but if it's summertime and it's hot, you should probably go up before the sun comes up or late at night, just so it's not really hot in there. For material for this project, you're going to need 4 of these jacks if you're installing 4 cameras. It's called a CAT5E Keystone Jack for RJ45 connector. If the camera package you get, if it comes with wire, if the wire is not long enough, you're probably going to want to get, let's say, 500 feet of CAT5E cable. You're going to need a low voltage mounting bracket, and you're going to need a cover plate for your Keystone jacks. So since I'm putting 4 cameras, that's 4 jacks. And you're going to need your RJ45 mod plugs.
So I'm putting this low voltage mud ring on, and so I just mark my height on the wall, same as the receptacle here. And then it's got 4 holes in the corner, and I just poked one hole, held it with a drywall screw, and then I held it level, poked my other holes, and I'm going to draw my lines to connect the holes here, and cut out my square. So I cut my hole, now I'm gonna put my mud ring in. That just fits in like that. Tighten the 2 screws in the corner, and that'll hold it on tight. So it's holding good. We're ready to drill a hole in the top plate and start pulling our wires. This is a FLIR 4 IP camera NVR, and it's a POE, power over Ethernet. So I'm running 3 Ethernet cables. I'm putting 3 cameras up. Now that I have my low voltage plate in place, I'm just gonna measure off the wall to my plate, and then I'm gonna go up in the attic and figure out how far from the wall to drill my hole through the top plate. And that's where I'm gonna pull my wires through. 2-inch hole saw for the camera base. Should give me enough space to pivot the camera wherever I want. So the hole in the top plate's drilled and the fish rod's going through to the top plate. We're going to pull the wires up through the attic. So I'm going to make a little pull head here so I can get all the wires up through the hole in the top plate. So I made a pull head. Now I'm just going to tape it up and then we're going to shove it through. So I got my 4 cables taped to the fish rod. It's ready to go. Mission impossible, crawling through this attic to retrieve the fish rod. Look how far it goes. Gotta go way down there. There it is. So we finally fished it through the house, and then we're gonna terminate this CAT5 and plug her in the camera. So we mounted the base plate. We terminated the end of this CAT5E cable. We used some fine thread drywall screws for the soffit. It's all holding good. We'll get the camera on, see how she works. So got one camera installed. So here's what the camera looks like after it's installed. I have it positioned here. It's a full HD, looks really good. And at nighttime it's infrared, so kind of shows up as black and white, but you can see in the dark. The old 3 cables that came with the cameras weren't long enough. Finally got some more cable. I cut 3 lengths and then I just coiled it up on this laundry basket so that hopefully I can pull it without it kinking the wires. So I'm going to use the old wires that are up in the attic to attach this new pull head to one of the old ones, and then I'll be able to fish it back through to the opening. Then I'll have my 3 new cables so I can attach. So right now, from the hole in the wall that I have cut out, I have my 4 cables coming up the wall through the top plate into the attic. And one of them is at a camera, so that's good. But the other 3 are somewhere up here in the attic, and they don't reach where I want to put the cameras. So finally have some new cable, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach 3 new cables, which I made a pull head. So I have my 3 cables. I'm going to attach them to one of the old cables, and then I'm going to go from this attic access. I'm going to fish these 3 cables with the one old one. I'm going to pull from down here one of the old ones out and pull the 3 new cables in, and then I'll just get rid of the extra cables that are not long enough. I'm going to hang this basket from a piece of string from the ceiling, so I'm just going to put a tiny hole in the middle here, tie a knot through the other side so I can hang it, and then it'll be able to spin freely as I pull it. So I just put a hole, put the rope through, put a little washer on the end and knot, and then I'm going to hang this from the ceiling. So I got the reel hanging there off that garage opener, and that should make it a lot easier to pull it without it getting caught. So let's see what happens. So I'm inside the attic. I have my new cables. Here's my old cables that weren't long enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop this through and then tape it real good, and I'll pull it all the way back through the hole. So here's my pull head. Loop through. Just going to tape that all the way so there's no protruding edges, and so that should pull smoothly. So there you have it. New cables. Old cable. I'm going to pull the old cable. And then the new one, hopefully we'll be able to get it through. It's a backsplit house, so the next attic is on a higher level, and I'm trying not to go into the upper attic, so I'm trying to do everything from the lower attic and through that hole in the wall that I have my low voltage ring, and hopefully I'll be able to pull it from there and get the new cables through. I had my 3 gray cables that didn't reach where they needed to go, so with my new 3 cables attached to the one, I removed the other 2 gray cables so I can make more space in that hole that is going through the top plate, and now I'm left with this gray cable that is attached to the 3 cables. I'm going to pull this out and hopefully I can get my 3 new feeds down through this hole. Got the new cable through without any issues, so now I just got to route the other ends to each camera that they're going, and then we're all